cancer cells. Imperceptible to the eye, revealed in active growth by the camera. With a single photograph, an instant of time can be isolated and preserved. With a series of photographs, movement itself can be recorded and analyzed. Eadweard Muybridge made this experiment in the 1870s using a battery of 20 cameras. The sequence, seen in order, contained the basic elements of movement. Another method was to record successive images on a single photographic plate. Although simpler, this had the disadvantage of superimposition. To overcome it, the French physiologist Mare conceived the idea of moving a strip of film between each exposure. With this more refined technique, he was able to record and study the corrective movements of a cat falling. These historic chronophotographs, taken in the early 1890s, were part of his research in animal locomotion. Here, the separate images lay side by side, but the camera could equally well be turned so that the film moved vertically in this fashion. In seeking to perfect an instrument for the scientific analysis of movement, Mare had hit upon the principle of the motion picture camera. This was the forerunner of this. True slow motion, filmed by one of Mare's associates, no guess, after the invention of cinematography. From its early days, the motion picture camera was brought to bear on things never before observed in detail. A ball bouncing on a jet of water was an early high-speed study. Ballistics demanded higher speeds. The action of a pellet piercing a bubble was demonstrated by Lucien Bull at 1,200 pictures a second in 1905. Krantz took 5,000 pictures a second in 1909. Chardin followed with 70,000 and filmed the fracture of glass at 200,000 pictures a second. This last study of a bullet virtually tapping against a glass plate was made in 1940 at more than 6 million pictures a second. Movement is slowed down and analyzed. Time appears to be expanded so that every kind of rapid visual event can be seen and studied. Movements too fast for the eye to follow, or conversely, too slow to be perceived. As early as 1898, the German botanist Wilhelm Pfeffer compressed the growth of beans over 11 days into a few seconds. By use of the time-lapse camera, movement appears to be speeded up to reveal processes too slow to watch in nature. Time is accelerated to disclose the plant kingdom in dynamic growth. We can watch as the dodder circles entwines, and strangles its victim. When the dodder meets the convolvulus, the rivals lock in mortal combat. We can observe the processes of growth and decay as the strange world of the fungi is revealed. Or the growth of crystals in geometric perfection. Camera and microscope were combined in the early 1890s by Mare to record the behavior of blood corpuscles. He was followed by Commandant, who made these studies of blood circulation in 1912. More recently, the time-lapse camera has been used to study the ordered complexities of cell division. At first, these new plant cells seem identical, but later they may become leaf, bark, or flower. We can follow the process of animal growth. Watch the fertilized egg of a rabbit as it divides and divides again to form an embryo with all its diversity of tissues, each with its own function. In a matter of seconds, we see a whole day's development of a chick embryo. Now the backbone is beginning to form. With careful manipulation of cells taken from a living organism, bone can be grown in isolation. Here, the time-lapse camera has been used to study growth. Here, X-ray cinematography serves to demonstrate function. The movement of a dog's leg and of the human stomach were photographed by Dr. McIntyre as early as 1897. More recently, X-rays have been combined with microscopic techniques to throw light on small, invisible movements, such as these, the digestive tract of the common fly. Combined with television for extended medical examination. Here, drinking and swallowing. Combined with sound recording to demonstrate the mechanism of human speech.
Achten Sie bitte auf diese Vorgänge bei den Vokalen A, E, I, O, U.
Different techniques reveal the functioning of other mechanisms. A moving object placed before a fly and seen through the multiple lenses of its compound eye shows that it recognizes movement rather than visual detail. Here, the high-speed camera slows down the movements of the fly's wing and reveals the gyroscopic action of the tiny balancing arm just behind it. Whether it is to study this or this, the camera can reveal the elements of movement vital to understanding. Performance is studied in relation to design, the spread of droplets from an atomizing spray, the action of propellers underwater, or the discharge of torpedoes from a submarine. The course taken by a single ear of wheat in a threshing machine. The vibration of a lathe during a particular cutting operation. The production of nails when the machine's speed is increased beyond its capacity. The effect of introducing a small metallic object into the air intake of a jet engine. Beyond the workshop and the laboratory, a new view of earth and sky, or the movement of a glacier during one whole year. The ephemeral flickerings of the aurora borealis. The great circle of the Earth as a rocket leaps beyond its atmosphere. The slow, majestic movements of the heavenly bodies. This eclipse was recorded by Gaumont in 1912. In 1928, W.D. Wright made this study of Jupiter and one of her moons. On the left by ultraviolet and on the right by infrared. Here speeded up the rotation of Mars, or the Earth's shadow advancing across the face of the moon. In close-up, the fiery mass of the sun, seething with activity. Normally, the solar atmosphere can only be seen during a total eclipse. But Leo invented the coronagraph, a kind of artificial eclipse. With it in 1935, he made this historic record of the solar prominences shooting hundreds of thousands of miles into space. Other optical techniques were developed to throw light on the invisible. Dark ground illumination reveals cellular activity in malignant tissue. An adaptation of the interference microscope shows diseased cells in relief. The The Schlieren technique makes visible changes in pressure around the wing section of an aircraft. Color adds a further dimension. Here it differentiates between areas of pressure and rarefaction. Here between hot and cold as water mixes. Using a different technique, it illuminates stress set up by a passing train in this transparent model of a rail. Uncovering the invisible, showing how a water beetle uses surface tension. Studying hidden structures within the living cell. Penetrating darkness with infrared light to observe the reflex action of the pupil of the eye. Peering into the lungs or passing within the abdomen. Looking into the womb, and there in the darkness, seeing life before birth. Constantly probing, seeking the inaccessible, revealing the invisible. The motion picture camera records and aids our analysis of everything that moves beneath the sun.